So, at the time that I'm recording this video, unfortunately, Ireland have just lost to England 2-0. It's unfortunate, if we're being entirely honest, but we have to be real with ourselves and admit that we all saw this kind of coming. Ireland didn't even qualify for the Euros, and England made it all the way to the finals. I obviously was rooting for Ireland, but if I'm being real with myself, I knew that England was probably going to win this game. Nevertheless, the big takeaway from the game that everyone's going to be talking about is the fact that Declan Rice and Jack Grealish were the two goal scorers. Now, me personally, I don't really like either of these players. Now, it goes a little farther past the fact that they used to represent Ireland. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I don't really like Arsenal, and I don't really like Manchester City, and both of those teams we're going to be competing with for the Premier League this season. I don't hate either of these players necessarily, but I don't really like them either. Now, if you watch the game or if you've seen the coverage from it, the reception that both of these players received were obviously not very nice. If you're familiar with the history, you probably understand why. Now, just a little bit of background in case you're not familiar. Declan Rice and Jack Grealish both represented Ireland at the youth level. Jack Grealish, I believe, represented Ireland up until he was an under 21 and then decided to represent England. Declan Rice, on the other hand, he represented Ireland up until his senior career, and he made a couple of appearances for them, not in any major tournaments, so then he was able to declare for England. Now, the treatment of both of these players from Irish fans is poor, if we're being honest. But I, as someone who does root for Ireland, I sometimes wonder if it's fair to treat both of them the same. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Oh, you've got some Irish accent. Yes, I'm American. I root for America first. But when Ireland are playing, I root for them. I come from an Irish background. Get over it. First off, just covering Declan Rice, I completely understand why Irish fans hate him. He represented them through the senior level, and he even kissed the badge at one point. I don't think he kissed the badge during senior appearances. I think it was when he was at the, at the very least under 21 level, but not for nothing. Like, what are you doing? If there was any idea in your mind that you could represent England moving forward, why would you kiss the badge? Every football fan and every football player understands the ramifications and they understand what that means to kiss the badge. You do that, you love that club or you love that country, and stabbing them in the back later on, kind of just a shit move if we're being honest. But after Declan Rice scored his goal today, he did not celebrate. He did the, atypical put his hands up thing, and as he should. I don't feel as though Declan Rice, backstabbed Ireland because he hates the country or anything like that, but I do think he kind of understands his treatment. But on the flip side of things, you have to look at Jack Grealish. He scored today, and he celebrated. And to a certain extent, while I do support Ireland, I understand why he does this. You see, Jack Grealish gets lumped in with Declan Rice, yet he has never made a senior appearance for Ireland. Represented them at an under 21 and below level, and then decided to declare for England. He was born and raised in England. This is not uncommon for players to do, to represent another country, and then once they get closer to, making senior caps, they decide to switch. This is not specific to Jack Grealish. He gets lumped in with Declan Rice, who made senior appearances for Ireland, kissed the badge, and if we're being honest, he kind of stabbed Ireland in the back. Jack Grealish, on the other hand, he did something that's very common for footballers to do, and his reception is equal to that of Declan Rice, and it feels as though, to me, the punishment doesn't meet the crime. I don't really agree with it. I don't really love Jack Grealish as a player, as a person. I think he's widely overrated by a lot of people, but at a certain point, even though I support Ireland, I have to take a step back and be like, treating him the same way that one would treat Declan Rice, it's a little unfair. And to a certain extent, I'm sure he was probably getting a lot of stick while he was playing today, and to do this after he scores, I kind of understand it. He represented Ireland up until he was an under 21, and then he decided to represent the country that he was born and raised in. This is fairly common in world football, and it's completely different than what Declan Rice did. If you don't like him as an Irish supporter, I completely get it. But for me personally, I feel as though the backlash that he has been receiving, I don't want to say it's undue, because I understand him receiving some backlash, but getting the same amount of backlash to a man who literally kissed the badge, to me, it's a little unfair. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter, link down below. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.